What's up guys, and welcome to today's legendary tier list from me, Ronaldo. Today we go over all the legendaries, where they belong in a tier list, how good are they, and depending on the rating, I basically rate them how versatile are they, or if they're not versatile, are they the best unit in a certain aspect? Is that aspect relevant? And also what I value highly is how good are they. What I value higher than other things are gear rate 3 and guild boss, because this is kind of the end game stuff. And then void rift will also be quite high on my priority list, but mainly guild boss and gear rate 3, because in gear rate 3 you get the best gear, and for the guild boss, and guild boss is basically the absolute late game content in the game at the moment. And for the guys that watched my epic tier list with Fastidious, some people would have liked if it was a bit more clear to see which character is going to come when. I did this on purpose, of course, on the old tier list, because otherwise people would just skip around to the end. But yeah, if you're just interested in certain units, it's understandable. So I'm going to adjust this now, and how I'm going to do it now is I go from a faction to faction through all the units here, okay? So starting off with the Watcher faction, we have Regulus. In my opinion, a really underrated tank, a really strong legendary in the game. He helps his team with tankiness, and he also is himself really tanky. He also has a immune system invulnerability for gear 8 too, and he is actually quite underrated. What's holding him back is a bit that he's a Watcher and not a Northerner. I think if he was a Northerner, he would even get stronger, because Northerner is basically that tanky region, while Watcher is the healing region faction. That's the only downside to him, and that tanks are not as valuable as DPS in this game. So, because of that, Regulus, really useful unit, really strong tank. He gets into A+ tier. A+ is also really good, guys. Just so you guys know. Then we have Cratch, one of, if not the worst unit in terms of legendaries in the game. He does some AoE damage, right? Oh, nice AoE. I can use him in gear 8-1, but the problem is he does piercing damage, and on top of that, look at this. He has a 3-second attack interval and has a 24 cost. And this is his range, guys. This is his range. 2-tile range. Come on. Like, come on, man. Cratch. Into the bin. Get this man out of here. Get this man out of my face. He needs a rework. He needs buffs. Just, I pulled him. And he's, I mean, ever since I pulled Cratch, I didn't even touch him. So yeah, this is about Cratch. Then North Throne, a really good faction. Now in the North Throne, I actually want to skip Nocturne, because I will go over him when we're getting to Infernal, because I believe the kit and the way he functions belongs more to Infernal, and so I think we go Infernal. Then Valk. So Valk is quite a bit of an underrated unit. She has some utility. She has a lot of AoE damage, and her AoE damage is magic damage. That's important, because usually AoE stages need magic damage. Magic damage is really valuable in this game. It's the most valuable thing at the moment. And on top of that, if we take a look, she has an amazing range. She's a good ground unit, and also due to that, she is A+. Because we don't have an icon for her, we use Astrid, but yeah, Valk A+. Then, before we went to Cratch, now we go to Shamir. Another dog water. Yeah, literal dog water. No, not dragon water, as you can see is dragon and water skills, or water dragon and water skills. No, that's a dog, not a dragon, and yeah, he's literal dog water. Like, his AoE mage, right? He doesn't really deal the damage. He doesn't really do that much in terms of the control that he's offering, in terms of the utility he does. He doesn't deal damage. His utility isn't that viable. Yeah, there's not much to say about him. He's a northerner, doesn't fit his kit either. Yeah, worst legendary in the game. I'm lucky that I didn't pull him. Yeah. He needs a rework for sure. He needs a rework. Then Zadie, I'm actually not that high on Zadie. I have her. I tried using her for Gear 8 2, stage 21. Because that's where she shines. That's where she's S+, blah, 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 blah. I don't think she's S+ there. I simply don't think, I don't see it. I tried her in Gear 8 2, stage 21. Didn't beat it. I didn't beat it. But you know how I beat it? Without her. I beat Gear 8 2 21 without her. It was easier to make it work without her than with her. Says a lot to me. Says a lot to me. When that's her main selling point, when that's her only thing that where she shines, is to make her units more tanky. Her healing, if her healing was better, then I would understand it. But yeah, because of that, I'm really not high on her. But simply because if you don't have the DPS, and if you can make her work, she can help you a lot in Gear 8 too, of course, and that's why she barely gets into A+, barely, okay? Yeah, just I'm not high on her. When I got her, I was like, nice, Gear 8 221. Didn't beat it with her, but I was able to beat it without her. Rogue here, best tank in the game, even better than Oleg, but he has competition from Oleg. That's already a problem. He has competition from Isolde, which is also an amazing tank, and tanks overall, like I said, are not as valuable as DPS characters or enablers, and therefore Broke here will be S+, simply because he still is the best tank in the game, right? But he's still a tank. Yeah, that's just how stupid it sounds. Same here for Broke here. I just use a Northerner Defender to showcase him because there's no icon for him. There's only 4 units without an icon, don't worry guys. Then Salazar, a bleed applier that not only does bleed but insane amounts of burst damage for artifact material raid, but also guild boss. He's amazing. He can also be used in Gear 8 2. In Arena he's amazing, and yeah, he's an amazing unit. He's not that versatile. But in the things he does it really well. He does a lot of damage for the guild boss, and he's Z tier. He's C tier barely. There's just a few units that are Z tier that kind of lack the versatility to get into God tier. But yeah, Salazar, amazing unit. Bleed, damage, everything. Then we have our first God tier. In one of the strongest factions we have our first God tier. That is of course Hatsut, the best legendary in the game. I made an evaluation with the point system where I put her against some of the other God tier units, and she came on top. She's extremely versatile, she's extremely potent, she's extremely good for Gear 8 3. And like I said, I value Gear 8 3 a lot, and simply due to that and her versatility, she's just amazing, right? Hatsut, God tier for sure. And we have more highly rated units in Nightmare, guys. We have more. And that is Volka. Volka is also going to be a highly rated unit from my side. Why is Volka highly rated? Some of you guys might think, right? Because Volka is the free unit that we get at A1 for free. And if we look at her kit and her numbers, like, they're decent. But that is why I value her so high. All the other legendaries, by the way, are ranked at A0. That's important to note. It's A0 rankings, not A5. We want to have it a bit relatable here. But Volka is A1 ranked because Volka you get for free, and her A1 you also get for free, right? So that's why we rank her at A1, and her A1 is extremely useful for Gear 8 2, and also can be used in other content as well, like Gear 8 3, for example. I've seen people use a Volka and so on. And for Volca I use Gluttony, and she's also S plus tier. She's also S plus tier simply because of her A1, and you get it for free. I think she's underrated because of that. Like, that is such a good thing. Then another, do we have the most god tier units in this faction? I think so. Actually, there's another one that has at least 2. There's another 2 that have 2 actually, as I see. Of course, I have the list here already prepared for you guys. So I'm looking here where I have my rankings, right? But yeah, another god tier legendary Arrogance, one of my favorites. He deals insane amounts of damage to single target units, guild boss and everything, but he's more than that. He's more than just guild boss, he's more than just AMR. He's also really good in can I say it? Gear rate 3 for the middle lane. He's also can be used in Gear rate 2, not as good as others, but he can be used in Gear rate 2, and he can also be used in Gear rate 1 due to his AoE. He can be used in campaign, in many different things. He's quite versatile for a fighter and extremely good at what he does. Like after Seal 2, pretty much the highest damage dealer in Nightmare Guild Boss, right? And just an amazing unit. Ever since I got him, just like him. I just like him a lot. Then we have Abomination, another free-to-play unit in the Nightmare faction. That is extremely strong. Maybe a bit overlooked because he is free-to-play, but he can be used in campaign extremely well. He can be used to deal with lanes on his own because of that, and he heals himself. He's really good in arena, and this passive right here stacks extremely well. He's really good in Gear rate 2 as well. He actually deals out a lot of numbers in Guild Boss and AMR as well, and he does a lot of AoE. The only downside to Abomination actually is that he's extremely good in all of these different things, right? But he's not the best. Like, he's not the best AoE damage dealer, right? He's not the best damage dealer for Guild Boss, but he's up there. He's up there, and due to his versatility, I put him into the top corner of S plus for the moment, just because he's so versatile and he's so good at, not good, great at many different spots. I like him a lot. And if you take a look at his stats, guys, look at it. 5-8 attack, 30k HP, highest HP. Oh, he's just nutty. He's just nutty. Then Lugaru, another amazing unit, guys. Another amazing unit. A bleed applier, just like Salazar. He has a bleed that lasts for 5 seconds on his attack, as you can see, extremely potent bleeding. He deals also nice damage, and he also has insane stats here, over 6k attack. And he's a 2-tile fighter, as you can see. He's a 2-tile fighter. And overall, Lugaru is, for me, it's hard to say. Is he on par with Salazar? Is he not? Right? It's really hard to say. I think for now, also on top of S plus, like S plus tier also are just amazing units. They're just amazing units. Like these two are definitely better than these two, right? But yeah, Lugaru. Then we have Valeria. Valeria. At the beginning, people were quite low on her. Now you see her all over Guild Boss, decimating Guild Boss. You can use her in Arena, of course, as a. You can use her in Gear rate 2, and then she's actually a really strong unit. But guys, don't get it twisted about the Guild Boss. Don't get it twisted about the AMR and everything. While she is good there and everything, right? She has insane stats as well. The reason why she deals so much damage on these whale accounts is her awakenings, right? Insane awakening, insane awakening, insane awakening. So don't get it twisted. She is great, but not as insane as you might think due to her guild boss. Like at A5, she definitely is Z tier, but at A0, Valeria will be our last epic, and she will make it into S plus tier, right? She will make it into S plus tier. Maybe we'll take Volca down to S tier, actually, looking at this. But we keep her at the S plus tier for the moment. Yeah, these two, I think are the best two units in S plus for sure. Valeria is great unit, definitely, but it's her. She kind of gets carried by her awakenings. Don't get it twisted. Then Azor, he got a buff, of course, insane buff. I tried the full DPS Azor, guys. He got out damaged by my Baron, full tank Baron. So yeah, there you have the full DPS Azor. Azor does many things at once. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, basically. And while that might sound promising, the problem is that everything he does, others can do better. He's not as tanky as others. He doesn't buff as much as others. He doesn't shield as much as others, which makes him still need a buff or a rework. He is better off than these two for sure, but he's not as good as you'd like to have him, right? They do the dwarves a bit dirty here, not gonna lie. And that gets us into another top tier faction, and that is the Cursed Cult, guys. And we're starting off with Captain Reef. So Captain Reef was a limited time unit. A lot of people went on the hype train. He gives you bonus gold, as you can see here, bonus gold, and he is basically the epitome of cultist. He does everything a cultist should do. He does some AoE, he has some control and everything. So he does his job quite well. Which is why I believe he gets into A plus tier for sure, but it is not enough to get into S tier because of the units that we will see in the S tier soon to come. But A plus also a really good unit. Then speaking of S tier, guys, Lassir is S tier. Wow, can you imagine? Yes. Sole reason is this right here. This is the best thing ever for Gear 1. Like Gear 121 is pretty much impossible without Lassir. The healing is amazing from the Elohim boss. You really want to get rid of that healing, and he does it. He does it for you. 100% is a huge difference than Zealous. The Zealous manuscript of his own artifact will only do 40%, and the 100% is a huge difference. He is a AoE mage, so he is also crafted for the Gear 1. He's also a cultist. Everything screams AoE mage, right? Maybe his damage is not as high as other AoE mages, but this helps so much, and I value that a lot, and this is why he's in S tier. Because there's no other unit that can do his job, right? And we already touched on Zealous. I think he's decent. His cost is high. His damage isn't as high as other mages. His control is decent. He's also a plus unit, but not more than that, right? He's good, but he can be replaced by better options. And we have Cerberus. Cerberus I'm actually really high on. His AoE is insane. He's also AoE magic damage. He deals so much magic damage, it's crazy. And I am a big fan of Cerberus, and I believe he's also up here in the S plus category for sure, simply because he's so good in this AoE aspect. It's crazy, but of course most people don't have him. I wish I had him. I love that design. Look at it. He looks awesome. He's so funny. Like he kills himself basically and then deals so much AoE damage. It's crazy. But yeah. Speaking of AoE damage, the queen of AoE, guys. The queen of AoE, Vierna. She has a 35% execute, and percentage damage will scale into years to come. It's in every gacha the same. If you have a percentage damage unit, they will be strong for a long time. Because maybe they increase the HP, maybe they increase the defense, but the percentage damage will even grow on value then, right? Her AoE is insane, her Gear Rate 2 potential is insane, her Gear Rate 1 potential is insane, Gear Rate 3 she's also extremely good, campaign she's also extremely good. She is a god tier unit for sure, especially in progression. She helps you a lot for progression. And also one unit that I use quite often. Then we have Cornelian, and I'm quite low on her. She is basically similar to Sadie in terms of the damage reduction ideas and the healer, yeah, with the damage reduction and everything. I'm just not that high on her, to be honest. She is good for Gear Rate 2, but because of my experience of Sadie strats with Gear Rate 2, you know, not that big of a fan. Which is why I also would put her at the same spot as Sadie. They kind of want to do the same thing, but they don't have that many other spots than Gear Rate 2, right? Then we have Durza. Now Durza is kind of underwhelming. He's kind of underwhelming because if his ultimate, if you take a look at it, 50 attack speed increase, maxed out it's 100. So maxed out the increase is quite a lot, but 100 is still kind of meh, cause usually you already have quite some attack speed on your units, and then that attack speed value gives you diminishing returns, which is why he is kind of underwhelming. So Durza, where do we have him? B plus or A? We put him B plus. We put him B plus. So yeah. Then let's get into the strongest late game faction in the entire game, the Guild Boss faction, right? The Guild Boss / Void Rift faction, and let's start off with Nocturne. Now Nocturne, the weakest of the legendaries, still one of a heck of a legendary, really strong single target damage, insane single target damage, deals amazing damage for Guild Boss, especially can be used in campaign, it can be used in many different spots, and Nocturne for me is a great unit. He is S tier for sure for me. He is S tier simply because his faction is so in sync with his kit, and just amazing unit. Can be used in different areas as well. Then Zillatu, the queen of Guild Boss, guys. We went from queen of AoE DPS to queen of single target DPS. Zillatu, the highest damaging DPS in the game against Guild Boss. She deals amazingly with the Guild Boss, especially also magic damage. Guild Boss has less magic damage than a magic resist, and she does that magic damage. She's infernal. She has range like crazy, as you can see. You can use her in due to that you can also use her in stuff like, for example, Gear Rate 3. Even though Gear Rate 3 they have some more magic resist, I like to run a Pyrus as my lord because I have so many. I also use Cetrum, I also use Dolores, you know. So because of that I put her in some, and as her fighter, right? As a fighter. So Zillatu is Z tier. What? Zillatu is Z tier, not God tier? Yes. Like I said, Queen of Guild Boss, but she's not that versatile. She's not as versatile as an Arrogance. Like the Arrogance has that AoE. Arrogance is also better for the Gear Rate 3 because he doesn't deal magic damage plus his AoE. Ultimate attacks will deal the spawns of Zillatu and Zillatu as well at the same time, so he can actually deal damage then. While Zillatu can't do that, and Zillatu is not as versatile as Arrogance, but she's also like he's second best, and she's the best DPS for Guild Boss. Yeah, she's just so good. Like she doesn't do many different things, but what she does amazing, and she's unmatched. Then another unmatched unit. Now, unpopular opinion, guys. Cetrum, God tier for sure. God tier for sure. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wee. Guys, I told you guys, right? I value Void Rift Guild Boss, and Gear Rate 3. Extremely high. Gear Rate 3, he and Silas are the best units for the middle lane. Guild Boss, you see him in every Guild Boss team because of his Shield Shredder ability. Just because he can shred shields so well, right? So Setram, just an amazing unit, amazing range, can be used in many different content and to extremely great extents. Definitely God tier for me. Bit of an underrated unit. Everyone knows he's amazing, but I think many people expect him to be Z tier, but because he's so good in Guild Boss and Gear Rate 3, for me, God tier for sure. Then we have Hex. Now Hex, also a Guild Boss demon, Void Rift demon, can also be used in campaign and everything. He's also can be used in Gear Rate 2. Gear Rate 3, unfortunately though, because of his magic damage, he's suffering a bit, but he can also be used there to some degree. But because he's just like Zilla 2, he's an insane DPS for Guild Boss. But just like Zilla 2, he is not that versatile, which is why he's C tier at the moment, right? He's C tier and not God tier because he lacks a bit of versatility. But he's amazing in the things he does, like the single target damage he puts out. For me in Guild Boss, bellissimo. Then another underrated unit that I'm gonna make a video on soon is Calypso, guys. Calypso takes some time to ramp up, but she's actually quite good for Gear Rate 3 and Guild Boss. We have a pattern. That's something that I value highly. And due to that, she's S tier. Where is she? She is S tier for sure because of that. Because, yeah, she can be used in these two categories really well, right? Then Nyx, a unit that is AoE, a lot of AoE damage, a lot of range for her. I also have her. I use her for Gear Rate 3 as well. I rate Gear Rate 3, but unfortunately she's not that versatile in terms of content. In terms of AoE, she's not as strong as other units, which leads me to place her in A+ tier. In top of the A+ tier, Gear Rate 3 value, like I said, is high, and she does really well for the left hand side. If you have Nyx, you're gonna be good to go with the left side. Then Absan, also another unit that is supposed to be great for Gear Rate 3. Supposed to be. Unfortunately, he is relatively easily replaceable in what he does. He's good, right? He's good, but just not good enough. He's just not good enough. And Absan, where do we have him? He is A tier. I think Arrogance does a better job than him, and Zilla 2 is more versatile than him. You can get away with, yeah, I don't know. He's supposed to be that super anti-air DPS ground unit. He's completely focused on that, but he doesn't shine on it. He doesn't shine on it, and that says enough. And now, guys, a unit that people were upset to get when the Silas Virna banner came out. People were like, I want Virna. I wanted Virna so bad, not Silas. Nowadays, everyone knows that Silas is just as much of a god tier unit as Virna. He's one of the highest damage dealers for Guild Boss. He's extremely good for Gear Rate 2. One of the two best units for the middle lane in Gear Rate 3 together with Setram. I would say even better because he's a piercer, so piercers you have more options to build a piercer team, and also he has a lower cost. So Silas, wowee, where is he? There we go, god tier for sure, god tier unit for sure, guys. Really versatile Silas. Yeah, I really want him, not gonna lie, I really want him. And Sargak, also great for Gear Rate 3 actually. He applies some bleed as well. He can be used as a lead application for guild boss as well. His damage is just not as good as the other marksmen, but he's not bad. He's not too shabby actually. He's not too shabby. His damage is good. It's really like he's a piercer. He wants to be used in gear 3. He's just not the best option, which is why I place him in A plus. Or actually, if I place Calypso up here, I need to place her down here as well, together with Sorgek. Then, next up, Hex we already discussed. Then Razak, basically same as a Nyx, but a bit better, cause Nyx cannot be used in AoE arena to the same extent he can be used. Now to another faction that is amazing. That is the one with Elwyn, the esotericist. There we go. Now Elwyn, rage booster, healer, she does it all. She does it all. Amazing range with her plant that she spawns. Rage boost that she gives. She's in every late game team. She is by far the strongest healer and god tier unit. You could even say over Hatsut, right? But we're not gonna do that. I think she's right below Hatsut, honestly. Like Elwyn. This is why, if you guys noticed, if you guys are experienced, you know Elwyn and Hatsut, they both have pretty much really low drop rates, compared to other legendaries. And there's a reason behind it, because they are just amazing units. They're just amazing units. Then Dasomi, underwhelming, really underwhelming. I don't like him. His healing, kind of wacko. And he's a chaotic unit. Of course, he's based on being a chaotic healer for the chaotics, but I think he's not good. I think he's B tier. E tier, actually, need rework. I think he's bad enough to be at the need rework section. And then my favorite, All Hail Comet. My goat, my second legendary. I just had him and Azor for 2 weeks, and I didn't stagnate anywhere. Imagine, I just had them and I didn't stagnate anywhere, simply because Comet, boom, 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 wipes the floor with everything. It's the most versatile unit in the entire game. He has the highest AoE magic damage DPS in the entire game. Yes, you heard it right. He deals more damage than a Vierno in magic damage. Sure, Vierno has that execute, but also Comet is better for gear 2, but he's not that good for gear 3. But overall, he's just extremely versatile, definitely deserving of the god tier spot, because he is one of that AoE mages that will make your progress so good. He's more of a progressing unit, as like these three are more of the late game units, right? He and her are extremely good progressing units. And then we have Ezreal. Ezreal I think is actually decent. I think his clutch healing can help a lot. Yeah, unfortunately though, he just does healing, right? He is only a healer, and usually on a healer, on a utility based unit, you want a bit more than healing, just some extra. So this is why he's A tier, but definitely not a bad unit, huh? Definitely not a bad unit. And then we have Kaede. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he's good. I mean, he does this vulnerability, right? But other than that, he doesn't do much. And in my opinion, he is low A tier, if not B plus tier. He's just not that potent as other units, and most of the time you want someone else than him in your party. And then Chaos Dominion. We went over all of them, right? Yes, okay, perfect. And then the Last Lord, epic design. But yeah, Now let's go over it. Do we have some adjustments to make? I actually think we do. And that is when we place someone like him and him up here, just because they're good, right? He is good in some endgame content, right? He is extremely good in one specific option as well. Then these guys also deserve S tier simply because gear rate 3 is valued a lot from my side. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the list. Of course, we didn't rank the lords. What I can say, in my opinion, is best lord is Erica, in my opinion, because she not only will profit from the lord bonus, but she can also be placed down in gear rate 3. She's the best lord for gear rate 3. She can make piercer teams work for guild boss. Piercer teams are one of the 3 factions that can be used for guild boss. So in the 2 most important pieces of content, in my opinion, she's an extremely good lord. Her kit is nice as well to be used in gear rate 3. And the other lords are debatable, right? The other lords are debatable, and it really depends on what kind of units do you have, which lord is going to be most helpful for you. I really like Leia. I have her. Maybe I'm biased, but I think she's amazing. I use her everywhere in all the gear rates. Her healing is good, her rage boosting is good, her damage boost is good. A guild boss, I use her everywhere. I think she's really good, and if once the Watcher faction gets a bit stronger, she's definitely up there. So that's just a small detail on Leia. Now, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm quite happy with the list so far. If you have another opinion, write it down below, but don't just give an explanation. Don't just say, oh, Hex God tier. Say, oh, I believe Hex is God tier because in Void Rift he actually deals quite a good amount of damage, this and that. You know, you get me. Yeah, other than that, I'm Ronaldo. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm out. Peace!